Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's show. It's Keoster Live, and we're concentrating on a few different topics tonight. One of them being the death of David Bowie. We're going to talk a bit about his career, about his music and his movies, and about his illustrious career, which spanned over, I believe, 5 decades. He really was a legend. We're also going to talk about the Golden Globes, about the winners of last night's Golden Globes, and also from the wrestling world, we're going to talk Sting. The Stinger has been named as the first inductee in the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. So we're going to start off by talking a bit about the man you've seen at the top of the show there, and that is, of course, David Bowie. And he is, of course, a legend of the music world. He was in a few films as well. He really did span right across the media. I understand he was an artist. I myself was never really a big Bowie fan, but he is. It's not to be denied that he was a legend, and he really did capture people's imaginations. He was one of the most creative stars in the history of the music industry and of the history of the entertainment industry, really. And he was truly brilliant. Bowie, of course, we can tell you a bit about him now. As I say, I am using the old Wikipedia because I'm not a very avid follower of David Bowie, but he was born David Jones in 1947, and then he was known professionally as David Bowie. He was grew up in England, I believe, and he was born in Brixton in South London. He was particularly a big star in the 19. He started in the 60s, and then he became a legendary star in the 70s. Of course, he had a alter ego known as Ziggy Pop. Sorry, I'm mixing up here. Iggy Pop was the name of the other singer that he actually collaborated with before. But he had an alter ego known as Ziggy Stardust, and of course it was Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, and that was his alter ego, kind of like a drag queen style. And then, of course, he was known as David Bowie, of course, all throughout his career. He had songs that the songs are just endless in his repertoire, but he was, of course, he had big hits with Space Oddity. That was his first major hit from 1969. Also, he had massive hits with the likes of the song Starman, which was he sang, that one was actually from the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, and of course, and the Spiders from Mars. Also, he had great tunes like Heroes from 1977. He also had a great tune around that time as well. It was actually in 1983. It was a way after that. Actually, in 1983, he had a great tune called "Let's Dance," which was in any 80s album you might buy. That tune was always on that 80s album for the British. I remember I had a British 80s album one time, and that particular tune was on it. And then any other 80s albums, really, if you're at an 80s night, you always hear that one, "Let's Dance" by David Bowie. Also, songs such as, let me see here, he collaborated with Queen, and of course, one of the big tunes he done with Queen was "Under Pressure," and that one was a 1981 collaboration. He's had so many big roles. He was in the movie Labyrinth, which was a big deal, of course. It was also known as Pan's Labyrinth. He was of course the Goblin King in that movie. That was made in 1986. His other big tunes that he had in his career, his illustrious career, was "The Man Who Sold the World," which went on to be covered by the great band Nirvana, and another a fallen legend, Kurt Cobain. He actually, I recall, he was 69 when he died, and he was residing in Manhattan, New York at the time. His cause of death was, I believe, it's come out that it was liver cancer. There's a big fan base out there, and a lot of big fans of this great legend would probably look at me doing a show on YouTube and think, why is he even doing that when he's not a big fan? But I just think, as a media person, as someone who's into the entertainment world, I feel a need to kind of express an interest when it comes to someone that's been there, done that, led the way for all people into this industry. And I think he was a legend. I wouldn't be a big, massive fan of David Bowie, but I think another great tune from Bowie was that great collaboration with Mick Jagger, which was done for the for Live Aid back in 1984-85, which was the great song "Dancing in the Streets," and that was a great tune. Other stuff we could touch on with David Bowie. There's so much stuff. I'm just looking at I'm just brushing the surface here of what all the stuff he's been involved in. But just recently, actually, the song "Starman," which is one of my favorites of his, actually was used on the soundtrack to the film The Martian, which was starred Matt Damon and was directed by Ridley Scott. And that particular film actually won an award or two last night at the Golden Globes. So we will be talking about the Golden Globe Awards as the show goes on. Actually, we're going to leave it now. We're going to leave it at that with the David Bowie stuff, because I was just going to touch the surface on David Bowie there, because, as I say, I wouldn't be a big enough fan to be able to cover everything about Bowie. So definitely great legend, great career, and I think you all agree. If you know anything about music, if you know anything about entertainment, he was a true inspiration and legend. Okay, well, we're going to talk now about the Golden Globes from last night. It was live from Hollywood, and it was some great awards, some great winners and awards, and we can tell you that some of the awards went out to. We can tell you now a list of the winners. Best Motion Picture last night in a drama went to The Revenant, and The Revenant, of course, starred Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. Also last night, The Revenant won a second award, and that was the Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, and that went to Leonardo DiCaprio. When I was watching his speech, and it was a great speech, and he talked about how these indigenous communities around the world need to be preserved and need to be protected and stuff from big businesses and all the usual money being pumped in to build big infrastructure and stuff, but they need to be preserved. That's what DiCaprio was putting over on his speech, because as you know, Leonardo DiCaprio was a massive name in Hollywood and a massive star, and he will get people listening. That's one thing about that. And it's good when big stars use their power to do good things, and that's what I think he was getting at in his speech. There you go. So he won the Best Actor award in a motion picture drama for his role in The Revenant. And I heard a few bad things about that film a few months ago, and when it was getting up to release time. But it's actually, people are saying good things about it now, and it's won an awards. I think it's done very well. It actually won a lot of the awards at the Golden Globes. So that's kind of giving you an indication. The Golden Globes always give you a big indication of what way the Oscars are going to go in a few months' time. Of course, the Oscar nominations are actually out in a few days' time, or a couple of days' time. So it's going to be interesting to see, will these have any bearing on the way the Oscars will turn out. So the first two that we mentioned there were won by The Revenant. The third award is Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama. That was won by Brie Larson for her role in The Room. Best Motion Picture Comedy was won by The Martian. So what's wrong with that sentence? Well, my opinion there, the whoever decides on the categories and who's up for awards and stuff, you wonder why did they put The Martian in the comedy section? Because that film, I went to see it in the cinema, thought it was an excellent film. There was a few quirky jokes here and there, but I would never put it into the comedy category. I would have put it into the sci-fi drama category or something. It was a sci-fi movie and it wasn't a comedy. It was more of it was about this guy surviving on Mars and he grew his own crops and stuff. But it wasn't about comedy. There was no comedy kind of. It was like a light-hearted, maybe you could say, slightly light-hearted sci-fi drama. So, maybe it was maybe they did a sci-fi section and they wanted to put that into the comedy section. I don't know, but that could have been. But The Martian actually won the Best Motion Picture Comedy. There you go. Then the Best Actress in a Motion Picture, musical or comedy, went to Jennifer Lawrence for her role in Joy. So there you go. Jennifer Lawrence really sweeping up in a lot of awards these days. Last year at the Oscars, of course, she won an award, I believe. She really is a legend of our time, and yes, indeed, Jennifer Lawrence with a win there for the Best Actress in a Motion Picture, musical or comedy for her role in Joy. Best Actress in a TV series, a drama TV series, went to Taraji P. Henson for her role in Empire. An Empire, if you're not so sure, it's kind of like an American soap opera with a lot of African Americans in it. A lot of people love that show, so it's kind of a newish soap opera TV series kind of. So it's doing well with Taraji P. Henson winning the Best Actress Award in a TV series drama. Best Director in a Motion Picture went to Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu for his direction in the film The Revenant. So yes, indeed, DiCaprio bagged the Best Actor for that film, and it got the Best Picture Award, and it also got the Best Director. So The Revenant is really becoming the top film of 2016 in the awards, in the awards this year. So Best TV Series and a Drama, Best Drama TV Series goes to Mr. Robot, which was on the USA Network. Best Original Song in a Motion Picture went to Writings on the Wall for 007 Spectre, the new James Bond film. Very, very good Bond film. I, at the time, said I didn't like the song by Sam Smith, Writings on the Wall, but I've listened to it a few times since, and it kind of grew on me. So I think it's well deserved for that award, as Spectre, a very, very good film. Best Actress in a Limited Series or TV movie went to Lady Gaga for her role in American Horror Story Hotel. So that was, of course, one of the episodes or a kind of a film of coming from American Horror Story, and that was Lady Gaga playing the role. And in her speech, she was very tearful, and she was saying that her first love was acting, but her music became popular before her acting. So that was interesting to hear. Lady Gaga is she's become very humanized lately. She was in her earlier years as a musician. She was always very out there with her looks, and she had a lot of weird costumes and stuff. And she almost was alien to the normal people in Hollywood and in the music business. But lately, she's become more humanized, and she really showed it in her speech after winning the award, when she was crying and thanking everyone. So, best foreign language film went to Son of Saul, which is a Hungarian film. Best Actor in a TV series comedy, went to Gail Garcia Bernal for Mozart in the Jungle, which is a Amazon exclusive, Amazon Prime, of course, one of the very much like Netflix has House of Cards and a few other great shows. Amazon Prime has their own shows, and Mozart in the Jungle is an Amazon exclusive. So there you go. It won actually a few awards last night, I believe. So he won, Gail Garcia Bernal won the Best Actor in a TV Series Comedy for that. Best Screenplay on a Motion Picture went to Aaron Sorkin for Steve Jobs. So they of course, as we know as Irish fans, Michael Fassbender played the role of Steve Jobs in the new movie, and it has won Best Screenplay. And Aaron Sorkin, of course, Aaron Sorkin is amazing. He actually wrote such great TV series as The West Wing. He was at the helm of such series as Brothers and Sisters. Of course, both Rob Lowe was in both of them. He also has done a lot of great stuff over the years. But this movie that he has been involved in, and he wrote the screenplay for Steve Jobs, really doing well. A lot of big names in it. And he was up against Quentin Tarantino in that one, because Tarantino was also in that category for his new film, The Hateful Eight. But The Hateful Eight was successful in another category, and that one was Best Original Score, and it was Ennio Morricone won that one, the Italian composer. Quentin Tarantino accepted the award for him and talked about, as you would expect from Tarantino. He's never shy of a few words, but he actually done a good speech at the end of it and ended up giving the audience a bit of Italian, so that was good. And Morricone, as an 87-year-old composer, won that. So it just goes to show age is just a number. You can win awards at any age. And Nick, great creativity in music. So that was for the film The Hateful Eight, which you can check out my show from a few days ago on my Keoster Live, where I talk about The Hateful Eight. You can check that out here on CKTV. But just check if there's any other award categories. Yes, there is a good few more here to let you know about. Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture went to Sylvester Stallone for his role in Creed. Now, Creed is actually a film that I meant to cover in the last show, but it is looking great. It's out now on the 15th of January, and it is starring Michael B. Jordan as Apollo Creed's son, and Sylvester Stallone plays his trainer, who is, of course, he is playing the legendary character Rocky Balboa. And, of course, Rocky done the first 5 Rockies between 1976 and 1990. Then he took a 16-year break, and he done the 6th Rocky movie, Rocky Balboa, in 2006. Everybody thought the Rocky character was it for Rocky, but then they have brought out a spin-off movie where Rocky plays the trainer, and the movie is actually called Creed, and it's all about Apollo Creed, who is Rocky's best buddy in the last few Rocky films, and he was Rocky's opponent for the first 2 films, but his son is now getting in the ring, and Rocky Balboa comes in as his trainer. So a very interesting concept, and one that will work, and it's really, they're calling it the reboot of the Rocky franchise. And I believe now in the title, it's no longer just called Creed, which it was in the working title leading up to the release. They're actually calling it now Creed, the Rocky Legacy. So there you go. They need the name for marketing and stuff, and I agree with that because it's keeping the Rocky thing alive by putting it in the title. So there you go. So that movie, when Sylvester Stallone won Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, and it's great to see Stallone win a big award because for years he never won much. And in 1977 he won a Golden Globe, I believe it was for Rocky 1. And then, of course, he was nominated for the Oscar award for that as well. But for an actor that has done so much great stuff over the years, but because the action stuff and the sci-fi stuff and all the categories that he would have been involved in never really get nominated, much like Schwarzenegger, that he never actually got another award after that. So it's brilliant to see Sylvester Stallone win a Golden Globe, and I suppose he would look at that as a reward for a lot of his career as well. When they give the older actors big awards, it's kind of like a homage to the rest of their careers, which I think that is very good. They finally get their moment in the sun kind of thing, which is great. I just hope that he gets recognition and he actually gets a nomination for the Oscars, which will be great. But great to see the new movie Creed getting into the awards there. Best animated feature film that was highly contested. You had The Good Dinosaur. You had films like Pixels. You had a couple other films that were big this year, but the one that came out the winner in the animated section was Inside Out, and I heard a lot of people on about that film. A lot of people big interest in that film, Inside Out. Well, that's the one that took the win in the Best Animated Feature Film at the Golden Globes. Also, Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical or Comedy, went to Matt Damon for the film The Martian. I watched Matt Damon's speech there tonight before it on the show, and very good. Matt Damon is always very modest. He's a legend of our time. I would definitely call him one of the best actors of the last 20 years. Brilliant star. Also, best for the next one we're going to cover here, Best Actor in a TV Series Drama went to John Hamm for his role in Mad Men, another good actor. Best Supporting Actor in a Series, Limited Series or TV Movie went to Christian Slater for his role in Mr. Robot. So there you go, Christian Slater, another guy who has been up and down all through the years, and he's really, a lot of his films in his early years, including Young Guns 2. He was in films such as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He was in films like, I think he might have been in, he was in the film Heathers along with he's in Beetlejuice. Well, I'm live here, so I'm not one that's sort of I'm thinking about it here. But yes, Christian Slater, great star. He had a lot of depths in his career. Of course, he came out with a great role in Broken Arrow along with John Travolta back in 1996 as well. It was a good film. He was in Wind Talkers along with Nicolas Cage around 2002. So many great films over the years from Christian Slater. So many minimum films that weren't great either. He was in Bowie, which is a very good one, a biopic of Bobby. Not really a biopic, but we told the story of when Bobby Kennedy was shot and stuff, and the people surrounding him at the Ambassador Hotel. But Slater played a role in that as well. That was good. But great to see him win the Golden Globe. Also, Best Actor in a Limited Series or TV Movie went to Oliver Isaac for Show Me a Hero. Best TV Movie or Limited Series went to Wolf Hall, which was on PBS in America. Also, Best TV Series for Musical or Comedy went to Mozart in the Jungle, which is an Amazon Prime Video show. So that's interesting. That beat all the series that are on Netflix, and it beat all the series that are on TV. Amazon Prime or Amazon Video must be doing something right there. So Mozart in the Jungle must be quite a show. I've never seen it, but it must be something else. Best Supporting Actress in a Series, a Limited Series or TV Movie went to Maura Tierney for The Affair. And Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture went to Kate Winslet, who, of course, is a massive name. She won that one for Steve Jobs. So Kate Winslet, a star of so many great films over the years, of course, became a big star after her role in Titanic, along with Leonardo DiCaprio, who also won award on the night. So Steve Jobs, the movie that she won this for, she's had her fair share of awards over the years, I think. So, but great to see her won another one. She would be at this stage, I suppose she's around 40 or so. So she's one of the more veteran actresses on the scene. The Cecil B. DeMille Award, I suppose a kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award, went to the legendary actor Denzel Washington. So he has had a brilliant career, which has spanned decades, for an amazing. I just listed a few of his films through the years. He was brilliant in Malcolm X. He played a great role in Malcolm X. He also was brilliant in The Conspiracy Theory. He was great in The Pelican Brief. He was brilliant in. He was, of course, Denzel Washington was very good in Hurricane, The Hurricane. Other films such as Two Guns recently with Mark Wahlberg. He's had so many great roles over the years, Denzel Washington. So that's just to name a few. Inside Out, of course, as well, another big one with, and of course, well, I'm not even going to go into talking about too many of them because I wouldn't be able to remember them, but well achieved there. That's an award, a Golden Globe for him, for Lifetime Achievement type award for Denzel Washington. Well, that was all the Golden Globe Awards. I'll give you my take on the different people who won and stuff, and the clips that I've seen. Good stuff there. Well, we're going to round up the show tonight, folks, by talking about another legend. And this is where we talk about the wrestling world. And one of my favorite wrestlers down through the years, the Stinger, Steve Borden, better known as Sting, the Stinger, the world of wrestling. He has been now inducted. He hasn't been inducted yet, but he's been named as the first inductee into the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame. And Borden, or Sting, as we all know, he started his career in the UWF back in the 1980s, mid-1980s, where he teamed up with a young Ultimate Warrior at the time, John Helwig, and they were they were known as the Blade Runners, and they were supposed to were a southern take on the Road Warriors, who were big in Minnesota at the time. The Blade Runners were big in the UWF down in just beside Texas there, and the UWF were big in the Mid-South area, like Memphis / Arkansas area. So yes, Sting started down there. Then he went across to Mid-Atlantic over in Atlanta and then in Florida, and he became the Stinger in Sting in 1988. And he became a big name, fighting people such as Ric Flair and the different big names at that time in the NWA, which became WCW. And then he was always one of the loyal members of WCW, and he stayed with them through the Monday Night Wars in the 1990s, and he was much like the Undertaker in the WWF. Sting never jumped ship and went to the other company. When WWF and WCW were neck and neck, the Stinger never went over and turned his back on WCW. He stayed in WCW. But then, when Vince McMahon bought the WCW in 2001, Sting decided he wasn't going to go to WWF and go and do the invasion angle, which was, in my opinion, done all wrong. But he actually decided to keep his contract with Time Warner and sent it home for a couple of years. So even though Vince McMahon gave him an opportunity to go to WWF at the time, Sting says, I don't want to go up there and be treated like you treated Dusty Rhodes back in '89, like he treated some of the other WCW big names. He took them up to New York, to WWF, and made fun of their gimmicks and stuff, and give them bad gimmicks. So Sting says he doesn't want to go up there and totally destroy his character that he worked long to become. So Sting then went and worked for TNA in 2005, and he spent a good 8 years in TNA. And he was very successful in TNA. He got, of course, the company owned by Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett for a long period of time. With Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, he now worked with TNA as well, but he became the top star in TNA over time, along with Kurt Angle and a few other big names. Of course, Sting was a big member of the Main Event Mafia in TNA. But then, when that all went, TNA, of course, only just hanging on by a thread in the business these days. But Sting came to WWF in 2014, and now he actually had a WrestleMania match with Triple H last year, and then he had a rivalry with Seth Rollins, and he had matches with a couple of different people in WWF over the last year and a half. Now, it has been announced today that he has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So, great to hear that. Sting, true legend, and he is, without a doubt, one of the big stars of our time, the Stinger. I think my favorite match from Sting through the years would have to be the match that he had with, arguably, the match that he had with Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 1997 was a very good one. There's always some great matches with Bret the Hitman Hart in the WCW. He hasn't been given a great match with WWF yet, I suppose, because he's the age he is and stuff. But it's great they've got the library on the WWE network. You can watch any Sting match you want because his great career is there to be watched on the network. So yeah. So Sting, great legend. I'm going to try and get a few images of Sting up here now for you to see. Yeah, the Stinger, great legend indeed. I'm a big fan of Sting. I've always been. I think the colorful. He's really. I said something, posted something on Facebook about him there, and I think he truly is the, he's got that kind of the character and he's got the charisma. He's got the kind of theatrics about him, and he's had there's images of the different reinventions of his character through the years. He started off with when he went to WCW, he had a colorful look. He wore the tassels and he had all the different face paint and stuff. And then he became Dark Sting in the mid-90s when the NWO came in, and he was a vigilante-like guy. And he had to change up his character in order to compete with the NWO. I suppose he came in as the Crow-style Sting, the black and white face paint and the jacket, the big long jacket and the baseball hat. And then, of course, he changed up his image again and became a part of the NWO Wolfpack. And he ended up being the red face Sting. And he was kind of more, he was crazy kind of style Sting. And then he came back to the black and white. And then he changed about over the years in TNA, and he came into the WWE then as whiteface Sting again, and done the old Crow gimmick. But and I think it worked pretty well in WWE more at the start. But I don't think he should have went for the I don't think they should have used him the way they did. They really made him look bad at WrestleMania last year, and they kind of made him look bad against Rollins as well. But it was good to give him a title shot against Seth Rollins, though. That was well deserved. So there you go. So, folks, it has been Kieran Keogh, the Keoster, and I've been here tonight live for you, Keoster Live. And I've been talking, first of all, about the legendary David Bowie, who was a true legend of the music business, and even his acting was pretty good as well, I thought. And he really could create that character, very much like the Stinger that we were talking about. He could he'd get into the whole creating a different character with the face paint and the different ways of going there, the different kind of character creation that he had. And then his music spoke for itself. And we're going to leave, Also, we talked about the Golden Globes. It was, of course, my favorite ones there were Sylvester Stallone and Christian Slater, two legends. Of course, Matt Damon and Kate Winslet, two big ones as well. Good to see DiCaprio pick up one there for The Revenant. I must check out The Revenant. It looks good. As also, I'm looking forward to seeing Creed. I might check out that one, Joy, that Jennifer Lawrence won for as well. Robert De Niro's in that one, actually, I believe. So I must check out that one as well. Anyway, folks, it has been the Keoster, Kieran Keogh, and I've been bringing to you Keoster Live, and we've been talking about Bowie, Golden Globes, and the Stinger in the Hall of Fame 2016. So, good luck, folks, and I'll see y'all on the next show. Keoster over and out.